He thanked the jurors as they filed out. He then put his hands over his face briefly and exhaled.
Relief. I mean, that symbolizes he is relieved. Again, still serious charges, but still relief.
We're going to find out if the judge is going to let him out.
Right.
And it could happen today.
Well, that will be determined, well, most likely today. Well, sometimes they go, okay, let's come back tomorrow and talk about it. But it will be determined soon whether or not he is free while he awaits sentencing or an appeal.
Right. I think there was some concern, if you remember over a year ago when Diddy was arrested, he knew he came to New York, he was going to surrender.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at that time there were many reports that prosecutors were concerned that he was doing a lot of drugs, that he may hurt himself, or that he may hurt somebody else, and so they picked him up without him voluntarily surrendering. We're looking right now at
the podium where they've set up for either the prosecutors or the defense attorneys, someone from the trial, to step up and speak, which we will carry live with you. And just as soon as we get it right now, it is just about 10:28 here on this Wednesday morning, and we are finding out that 3 of the 5 charges that Sean Diddy Combs was charged with by the federal prosecutors, he was found not guilty by the jury. The 2 charges were each on Cassie Ventura and Jane Doe. He was found guilty of transportation for prostitution, which is the lesser of the 5 charges. Each one carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. The others, there were a minimum of 15 and potentially life in prison.
Right, and right now, his attorney, Mark Agnifilo, is arguing with the judge to let Sean Combs walk out right this second. It's going to be interesting on what's going on. Arthur Sheehan is outside the courthouse. First of all, I imagine like every press outlet in the world is near where you are, Arthur. They want to see if Sean Diddy Combs is going to walk out in the next hour or so.
Yeah, they're not only here, but they're here in duplicate or triplicate, just like we are, right? Lisa Evers is here. She's inside covering the proceedings that you just described. I'm out here. Everybody has a lot of resources out here. You're looking across the street. This is the Wood Street side of the Southern District Federal Courthouse. This is in Lower Manhattan, right? And there are pens, as you can tell. There are people on ladders. That shot that you were just showing of the podium is on the other side of that. We have that obviously covered, as you saw from that camera shot there. And then there are hundreds of people out here. There is a tremendous element of public interest. So there are a lot of people. We rarely see this intensity of it. Even during Trump's trial here in New York, we didn't see this many regular citizens out here trying to get a look, trying to be involved. And they've lined the streets over there. This is going to be a very interesting security issue for the U.S. Marshals who are in charge of security over here. You talk about the podium. Certainly you would think no matter what happens now, Mr. Combs' lawyers are going to come out and speak, right? They're going to set the scene for whether he should be released, why they should win on appeal. That's going to happen. I would be surprised. We'll be ready for it. But I'd be surprised if the prosecutors are going to speak here. They lost in 3 out of the 5 counts. And as you've been pointing out, those were the heavier counts in this. Now, traditionally, what has happened is the U.S. attorney would speak, and that would not happen here. And certainly not in this environment. They prefer controlled environments. They could do it at 26 Federal Plaza, which is about a 5-minute walk from where we stand right now. So this day is going to unfold in different places, is what we imagine. But right now, there's one gentleman. He's been screaming the whole time. We've been impressed by how he keeps going.